Hi, I'm Nicole and I'm a certified trichologist, and today I'm answering some questions from X. At Alex Eccentric, do you have to wear a wig for life or do hormones help with hair loss? Genuine question. Well, it really depends on the type of hair loss that you're experiencing. If there's different factors, hair loss is nuanced, so finding out the details of your hair loss is really important. If you've been wearing a wig for several years due to androgenetic hair loss, this might be something that you will continue to do. There are different things that you can try if you haven't already, but really timing is a lot of the answer. So how long have you been losing hair for? As to whether hormones can help, depending again on the time. Thanks. Every female hair loss question asked online is answered with ads for thinning hair. What the do you suppose to do when you know it's all going to disappear? What are the options? You don't know it's all going to disappear until you know what kind of hair loss that you have. So there are plenty of options. So there's things like makeup for your scalp that can help as it is thinning. There's hair replacement pieces, there's wigs. You may not lose it all if it's androgenetic hair loss. It may just be thinning. When it comes to female hair loss, there are things that mimic androgenetic hair loss. So I would see a trichologist or a dermatologist and get to the bottom of what is going on and if you will lose it all, as there are some autoimmune issues that will do that as well. Scalp care is always really, really important when we are dealing with any type of hair loss or scalp issues. They can always help make the environment just that little bit better for growing the hair that you do have. And then there's PRP, PRF, there's exosomes, and so there can be a lot of options. At RD Valerie, common causes in hair loss in women are often hormonal, high androgens from birth control, hypothyroidism, low estrogen, PCOS, nutritional issues like low iron most common, protein malnutrition, and overall malnutrition if significant. Any sort of hormone imbalance, hypo or hyperthyroidism, some birth controls, not all. And for nutrition, for low iron has been the most common cause, but I would add to that B12 and vitamin D as well. And we don't even need a significant decrease or an insufficiency is enough for iron, B12, vitamin D, as well as other things. So a low normal, getting our nutrition to the point where we have more middle of the road is probably better. At AJ Cortez, hair loss and nicotine. FYI guys, I know the Zim pouches are super popular now, and many of you are consuming increasingly at higher doses of nicotine. Nicotine is implicated in accelerating hair loss as a vasoconstrictor. Might want to cut back. I had to look up what nicotine pouches were. And yes, I would say any vasoconstrictor is definitely something that's not good for you. Smoking in itself will add as a contributing factor to hair loss. So at Anshika writes 1, women don't turn bald. You have to of bald patches by 30 to 35. Their hair gets thinner but not bald. If you have a balding patch, it's a different kind of hair loss, and there are several patchy types of hair loss. So if you are having bald patches by 30 to 35, I would definitely see your doctor, dermatologist, or a trichologist to have that closely looked at and monitored. Hair gets thinner but not bald, usually for women with androgenetic hair loss. There are things that mimic that, so seeing a specialist would definitely be a good call. At Nick96Smart, if you've experienced hair loss, what's worked for you? Topical treatments, hair transplants, grafts, red light therapy, etc. I've heard about people spending upwards of $5,000 on solutions that don't move the needles. And then there's a before and after picture. So at Nick96Smart, if you've experienced hair loss, what's worked for you? Topical treatments, hair transplants, grafts, red light therapy, etc. I've heard about people spending upwards of $5,000 on solutions that don't move the needle. I would recommend finding out what is the underlying cause of hair loss, as there are different treatments for different kinds of hair loss. And so narrowing down what the problem is most important. Noogie Nucky 1. Hair transplantation isn't just for men. Many women also undergo this procedure to treat thinning or bald spots. The process moves healthy follicles to areas in need, creating a fuller, natural look. I'm more worried about the bald spots here. If you have bald spots, it's a different kind of hair loss than what the hair transplants are designed for. And I think it needs a dermatologist or a plastic surgeon who is well versed in autoimmune types of scarring alopecias to determine whether your hair is stabilized enough to move from one area to another. So search out a good professional who has lots of experience with your needs. Lucky by Soul. If your hair isn't growing, you are most likely deficient in vitamin C and D. This causes you to have anemia, which causes you to lose more hair. It's not about genetics. It's due to you not having enough nutrients. Anemia usually refers to iron, your levels of iron, serum ferritin, things like that, as well as B12. So being anemic, yes, that will affect your hair loss. It will increase if you have different kinds of hair loss. If you have androgenetic hair loss and anemia, you will increase what your androgenetic hair loss is looking like. And so that can always be a combined thing whenever you have a vitamin deficiency. And vitamin D is important for our hair. At Ursula V. So interesting chemo update. My hair isn't falling out yet this coming week when it's supposed to start, but the roots are definitely letting go. I plucked a couple of stray eyebrow hairs and it was completely painless. Honestly, it's sort of neat. I'm so glad you're having that experience. With chemo hair loss, I would listen to your oncologist. They're going to know how quickly and when approximately you're going to lose your hair when you start treatments. Sometimes it's 7 to 10 days after the first, and sometimes it's 7 to 10 days after the second treatments, depending on what the medications they're using. They'll let you know what to expect, and I would believe them. And with that, sometimes I'm glad that this young person is not experiencing pain, but there can be really uncomfortableness with hair loss in what we call anagen effluvium, which is due to chemo hair loss. And that can cause a little bit of pain as your hair is rooted a little deeper in the growing phase. So when it starts to fall from that phase, there can be an uncomfortable scalp feeling where it's almost a little bit of pain. And it's hard to say, oh, my hair hurts. But I've heard that a lot and I've seen that experience. So for those of you who don't have that, that's excellent. At Sate J. Goho, takeaway. Most of this hair loss is temporary. By keeping protein high, choosing nutrient-dense foods, and avoiding extreme calorie cuts, you can support weight loss without sacrificing your hair. Anytime we are making big changes to our schedules, our food choices, as well as, trying to lose some weight, depending on how quickly that happens, you can expect a little bit of hair loss along the journey, just in the changes that we make to our body and lifestyle. Yes, this can be temporary, and sometimes temporary hair loss will also expose underlying issues. So if you are worried about that, seek a professional. At Alpaca Aurelus. Told my friend to stop using all normie shampoos, and he just texted me that his hair is growing back. Most shampoos is poison for your scalp and hair follicle. Well, that seems a little silly. There is hair shampoo and there's scalp shampoo. And if you are having hair loss issues or scalp problems, you might need to change your shampoos into something that's a little bit more specific to your issues. You can always, if you've got extreme color, highlights, things like that, you can always use a scalp shampoo in alteration with your hair shampoo from your stylist. But good shampooing habits are really important too. At Garcene, Warning, don't overwash your scalp. Overwashing strips the scalp's natural lipid layer, which protects hair shafts and keeps follicles hydrated. Aim to wash 2 to 4 times a week, depending on hair type. Use mild sulfate-free shampoos. So psoriasis being a separate issue, but keeping your scalp clean and free from debris from the oils on your scalp is important. So I don't like to usually recommend more than 2 days, like every second day for washing, but using the proper shampoo for your scalp. If you have a dry scalp, use your shampoos and serums to nourish your scalp. If you have an oily scalp, you need to remove those oils. If you are living a stressful life, you need to remove the oils that you're creating from that as well. So overwashing your scalp, that's rare. At Dan Bowie. Question, do bald people still use shampoo because it is still important for scalp's health, right? Unless you're the type of person who uses the same product on your scalp, face, and body. I'm a shampoo girl. Even for those going through chemo, people who have alopecia areata, I am big for shampoos. They're especially scalp shampoos, depending on the type of baldness that you have, whether it's just androgenetic, shaved head, or you still have oils that are being produced unless you've had an all-over scarring alopecia and your oil glands aren't working anymore. So yes, I do believe shampooing is important. Your bottle of shampoo is going to last a very long time on that one. At Zero Xmas, real health question. Anyone have a cure for scalp psoriasis? I use hydrocortisone, taking cod liver oil pills. I get plenty of sun for vitamin D, and trying something new, which is cutting out dairy, sugar, and gluten. I'm sorry, there's no cure for scalp psoriasis at this point. Hydrocortisone is definitely something that is prescribed a lot and can be helpful. This is a management issue. Scalp psoriasis, or any psoriasis, is an autoimmune issue. So this is an inside out. It's not just an outside in. So outside in, we are trying to manage and keep it comfortable, keep inflammation down, things like that. Love that you're trying the dairy, sugar, gluten and cutting that out. There's a lot of skin, gut health, and we see that both in hair and psoriasis on the scalp as well. Vitamin D is important, of course, for everybody. Although if sunshine is good for you, UV treatments are definitely one of the things that can be used. So if you don't have a trichologist or a dermatologist, that would be something to look into with your doctor. UV rays doesn't work for everybody in psoriasis as well. Sometimes it does the opposite. So having a professional work through that with you is really important. There are lots of different new things out and about that are coming out for psoriasis on the daily, so stay in touch with your doctor. At Rizzo's Curls. Okay, the real question is, how do you all wash your scalp? We need to talk about Scalp Health 101. Love to talk about washing our scalp, absolutely. I usually recommend, if you are washing daily or every second day, size of a dime of shampoo in your hand. For people who have really thick, dense hair, maybe the size of a nickel. Spread it through your hands, spread it all over your scalp, then work it into a lather. And it's really, really important to let your shampoo do the work that it's supposed to. So leave your shampoo on 3 to 5 minutes. All right. See a professional. Talk to your stylist, talk to your trichologist, dermatologist if there is something that you need that's really specific. At Hank Green, bad parts about hair loss from cancer treatment. 1, you lose your hair. 2, there's hair everywhere. 3, it physically hurts. I had no idea my hair follicles could feel this way. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a thing. Because you're going through anagen effluvium, this is where your hair is in the growing phase and everything shuts down and then the hair is lost. And as that hair is falling out, and you will find it everywhere, as that hair is falling out, it's really close to the nerve sets in the skin. So it's not uncommon for your hair to hurt. And yes, it does. It does. And the hair is everywhere. So what I like to recommend for people who are starting chemo treatment, that as your hair is falling, as it starts to fall, we do treatments here for that to help. But I recommend that if you see your hairstylist or maybe a loved one in your family, if you're going to shave your head at this time, what that does is, just removes a lot of that finding your hair everywhere. We always use a number 2 guard with our clippers and go from there. After that, what you want to do daily is use a washcloth with a little shampoo on it and then gently exfoliate the hair. Don't shave it right to the scalp. There's no mechanism to remove that hair and you don't want to have ingrowns later. So using a shampoo and a washcloth daily just to help exfoliate those extra hairs will help to remove them for you. Just a side note, we do carry a product here. It's called the Comfort Care Kit. It's made in Canada. And for everybody going through chemo, we love to recommend it. As employees where we are, this is an amazing product that will help to nourish the scalp and keep it moisturized during your time of healing while you're going through these chemo treatments. Lovely product that just helps keep the scalp in great shape. It helps to reduce some of the sensitivities at the early part where this might be a little painful, and that does go away. And so we do love to recommend that to all of our family members who are in the midst of going through chemo as well. The Brandon experience. What is a trichologist? A trichologist is somebody who studies hair loss and scalp issues. So there's diseases and disorders of the hair and the scalp, and that is what we study and try and walk people through their journeys. So sometimes it's something that is somewhat fixable, or sometimes it's something that's not curable, but there's management and there's maintenance and there's really good scalp care. So we like to come alongside and help everybody resolve or find management for their issues. Thank you for your questions. I'm Nicole. I'm a certified trichologist. Have a great day.